Forever, solidarity forever, for the union is so strong. Victory, there is victory for us. Victory, there is victory for us. In the struggle, thank you, comrades. Backward never.
Reserve the front seat for them, please.
I will yield my seat to you. Mr. President, I will yield my seat to you.
I want to raise about say, legacy, which I think would be useful here, is that he was also a complete unionist.
Leadership, learning and leading is inseparable. You learn every day, especially from the elders. When he was talking about structural adjustment and what happened and everything, it was a learning process for me. If you look at the theme of my campaign, I said that my commitment is to move Nigeria from consumption to production. And you can't talk about production without labor. Labor is the engine of production. Capital and machine can do anything, but labor is what makes it work. And that labor, because it's the greatest contributor to production, has to be properly remunerated. I don't need to tell you how bad things are in this country today. You know it yourself. Is it your wages? Today, Nigerians spend over 100% of their wages in just feeding, if it ever feeds you. So many don't even know where the next meal will come from. They've paid and educated their children from their little savings only for their children to be sitting at home with them because there's no job. These are issues we need to sit down and discuss. President, nobody can be president without sitting down with the labor and every organization to decide the future of Nigeria. We can no longer have a situation where the leaders are here, the workers are here. They must sit on the same table and talk. That is the beginning of the solution. That is what is happening all over the world. Nigeria is not a producing country. It's not producing anything. The cumulative effect of what we are suffering today is bad leadership. It's a leadership that concentrates on sharing. We have to move from sharing formula to production formula. This is a country of 200 million people sitting on 923,000 square kilometers of land. They can't feed themselves. They can't export anything. Total Nigerian export last year, including oil, is under $30 billion for 200 population. Mr. President, a similar country, not a first world country, not what you can classify a developing country, but a country that had the same trajectory with Nigeria in the year 2000, Vietnam, is sitting on 331 square kilometers of land, a third of Nigerian land space. And with 100 million population, which is half of Nigerian population, their total export last year is $312 billion. So we didn't make 10% of their export. We cannot continue like that. That is why their unemployment and underemployment is under 5%, and our own is sitting about 60%. All our young people in their productive age are not doing anything. So you're going to have a crisis. And that is what Labour and the Labour Party and everybody will sit down to discuss on the future of our country. Our elders' father and statesman talked about borrowing. So there's nothing wrong in borrowing. Every country of this world is borrowing. Every country. The most celebrated country, America, owes about 100% of its GDP. Number 2 country, China, owes over 50% of their GDP. Number 3 in terms of economy is Japan, owes 230% of its GDP. Even Singapore, that we give as an example, over 120% of their GDP. Norway, with the biggest sovereign wealth fund of 1.4 trillion, owes over 50% of their GDP. Is what that makes the difference. If you borrow for consumption, like we've done, you're in problem. If you borrow for production, you're in progress. So we must now make a law that all borrowing must be for production. The first time we borrowed money in this country was in 1964. You can go and read the first time Nigeria borrowed money. We borrowed money in September 1964 under Tafa Balawa. Go and read the letter I wrote to the World Bank to borrow $82 million to build Kainji Dam. And he said it there, that I'm borrowing this money to build 760 megawatts of electricity to be able to give Nigeria nearly 1,500 megawatts in order to increase the industrial productivity of the country. And I told him that you are in the right direction when they approved it. Almost 60 years after, Kainji Dam is still there. Nigeria today, if you look at monetary equivalent of that today, is about 1 billion. And we are owing 120 billion. Imagine if we had taken 20 of it to build more Kainji dams, we would have been generating 25,000 megawatts of electricity. And that would have, our country today would have been sitting on twice the GDP and twice our per capita, and the difference would have been there. But because it was consumed, we have a debt where we can't service our debt. We are now using over 90% of our revenue to service our debt. And what you hear from government every day is that our revenue to GDP is low. It will be low because you are not working. They are not productive. It is that they pay you taxes and you earn more. We will sit down with Labour. It won't be a P2B. We don't want government again that will not sit with the people. Government must sit with the people. I was governor in Anambra State. I sat with the people. I sat with them. That was why I was able to clear the entire gratuity and pension. Because I sat with them. If you go, nobody was owed. For the years I was there, they were being owed 35 billion when I started. And I told them, it is criminal to owe pension and gratuity. You can't owe people old age when they have less opportunity. That is the last time you can't owe them that. And we paid it. We will sit down. Today is for, we've come to honor, and I thank you for honoring us heroes. Because we live in a country where people don't remember anybody. In a country where people don't care about anybody. But it's for you to go and know. What I tell people is, there's a lot of us who are contesting to be president today. We have 8 months. Go and scrutinize our past. Let's know where they're coming. And let nobody come and speak to you through proxy. Let them come in front. So you hear from their mouth. So tell us what they want to do. Tell us what they did. Within first 1 month, or first 3 months of my being a governor, Can't go and ask anybody in Anambra State. My head of service walked into my office and said, I have a civil servant who have worked so hard. She's a wonderful woman. She's a fantastic woman. And is the best we have, and is retiring today. I want you as a governor to shake her hand and thank her. Coincidentally to me, I had a commissioner of land, Afuba, who has come in to tell me that he has a wonderful 2,000 piece of land he would like me to have as a governor. And my head of service, Ngozi Melifonwo, came in with this wonderful civil servant and said to me, he's retiring today. He wants me to shake her hand. And I asked the woman, you're retiring today, so where are you going to go? He said she's going to go home. I said, so where is your house? Do you have a house? He said, no. You work for 35 years. Do you have a land given to you by government? They said, no. I told the commissioner, I've been here less than 3 months. This person has put 35 years. This is why this country is not working. This land should go to this woman who have been here for 35 years. That's the only way that woman had land. That's the only way that woman had land. What you hear today is that those of us who are politicians have stolen money that is enough to pay all the gratuities and pension. It has to stop. We must stop it. But that is not, today is not campaign. We will come for campaign. We will promise so you can document it. So it will not be that this person said this and it didn't work. And you can go and ask where I came from. What did he do when he was here? I've been a chairman, I've chaired banks and everything. I worked in that industry, I work with labor. I've worked in government, I work with labor. And labor will tell you my relationship with them, which is critical. But going forward, Nigeria has to be properly negotiated by whoever we are going to hire. We don't want to hire people who come in and start telling us what they saw when they came in. We want them to see everything before they come in. We don't want to hire people again. We don't want to hire anybody again who will start telling us about the past regime. The reason why we want to hire new persons is because we don't believe in the past one. So we don't want you to tell us, remind us what they were doing before we hired you. We want you to start solving the problem. And that is what we want to do. And I assure you, that is what we were going to get. I told somebody this morning, go and ask them in Anambra State. Whenever anybody says that, I say, God didn't give us eyes behind. He said, look up. So if you know what we are going to do to get forward, tell me. My commitment to Nigeria, I'm not going to do it in the past. Those who think about today will miss tomorrow. I want to go tomorrow. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for
forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. There is victory for us, victory. There is victory for us. In the struggle. Comrades. Continue. We're only going to respond to His Excellency with the solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Are people united? Are people united? Thank you, comrades.